Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Welcome to our second official podcast.
How are you guys doing today?
For real. You know what I didn't know? Okay, I didn't know on Spotify that we have a comment section.
Okay, you know what? What does it say? Because I should go through that comment section because I knew that they had it, but I didn't think people would actually use the comment section.
We had 2 commenters, as we should. We had 2 commenters, and I love them. I have no idea who you guys are.
I'm happy that you guys commented, though, because I was like, oh, you're really participating in this, period.
I loved it. Okay, I'm the one who answers to your messages. And I was like, yeah, this is giving. Like I said, I had no idea that there was even a comment section, and we could do polls.
Okay, I saw the polls option, but I wasn't sure what to do, and I was getting so tired. I was like, yo, Lex, Sarah, give me some ideas. I don't know what to do for the polls. But polls are cool because we can ask for, like, what you guys want to hear, basically.
Yeah,
I don't know. Or, like, about the podcast in general.
I love when people are interactive, either by like commenting on Instagram or replying to stories.
Yes, or like reposting it. It's so cute.
Like, oh no, we're like all friends.
Yeah, I love it though. It's like when a girl sees you like out and like she compliments you. Yes. And she's like, oh my goodness. Like it's like that vibe. I love like that energy of like that support. And it's like when girls are like snap back to my story, they're like, oh my gosh, I'm like, stop.
Or when they start like a Instagram and everyone's like following the fitness Instagram.
Yes. No, like girls support girls in a different type of way that men just don't understand.
Yeah, I do love
like
it.
It's very different. I want to
give a round of applause to your friends because they're like the heart of our fan base. I was like looking at my friends are fake ass people. First of all, half of you guys don't even follow the pod. What's up with that?
Clock it.
What's up with
Clock it. No, the people I seen that didn't follow the pod, the minute I posted on my story, I was like,
you're being unfollowed.
You're weird, actually. The people who followed right away, I was like, oh my God, you're actually normal. Like, I know that you're normal. Because why aren't you following the pod?
Why aren't you following the pod? Moment of silence.
And it's like, I see who views my story, and then I see the following, and I'm like, I'm sorry, it takes 2 seconds.
Yeah. Okay, listen, if you don't want to follow the Instagram, that is so fine, babe.
But, like, the Spotify is right. Like,
the Spotify.
However.
You can follow the Spotify.
I know you use Spotify, too. So. And if you don't have. I know you back up at the same time. And if you don't have Spotify, you have YouTube.
No, that's
you have YouTube.
Yeah.
And I know not a lot of people got social media. That's fine. Yeah. You have YouTube.
Yeah. I'm also kind of proud.
YouTube is free.
Because with our combination of views, we had like over 100 views.
Oh.
As we should. That's such a small milestone.
Stop. It was you saying the combination with the combination of views.
With the combination of views of our platforms. We have 100 streams. Yes! Hopefully it will grow.
No, it will. As it should. I think it will. Like, I have a feeling it will. I think we're like...
We're cutesy.
We're just like... We're like the basic, like, girly pups. Like, basically today, we were thinking about, like, guys, like, what should we talk about? And then last night I was like, she brought up activism, and I was like, you know what? Yeah. Activism right now is kind of pissing me off a little bit.
We need to talk about it.
It's kind of irking my soul, like, a little bit. Like, the way people view activism, the way people think what activism is, how people call themselves activists when they're just, like, online warriors, really. And they had got no idea what the hell they're talking about. And they're just talking to talk, like Candace Owen. Like, you know, and when people get a mic, sometimes they don't know what to do. Like, they just want to yap to yap. It's like, there's no point to this.
Like us, but also not us.
No, not us. Because, like, there's a point to this.
Yes.
There's a point to this. But how I find like online activism, I find it to be very performative. But I mean, like, you can argue that activism in general is performative too.
Yeah, okay, but there's like a stage to it.
Yeah.
Because, and I'm gonna call out like the online people, because I feel like if you're truly an activist, you're an activist outside of your online performance. Like you'll argue with people, and like you'll truly advocate people when they're not around you. I feel like that's the biggest difference of activism. But because like there's so much online things, spreading awareness is one thing. I don't know if I consider it activism. Because you're just spreading information, but at the same time, if you're gonna advocate for one group of people, you're not an activist. You can't be for like human rights and then shop on Shein.
Oh, clock it.
Like it's like
clock it.
Being an activist is more than just posting a post or like.
It's more than reposting. It's more than reposting. Also, I feel like you guys tend to repost without reading, or repost because other people are reposting, or like some things like you were talking about like before, but like, oh my God, propaganda. Sierra will eat up with propaganda. The way that you guys repost propaganda, like there's no tomorrow. Like there's no tomorrow. Like that one Instagram guy.
Yeah. This is controversial. I don't know if I'm gonna bring it up right now. Okay, I'm not gonna call him out because honestly, I don't want to call him out because like in some way he is a reliable source. I don't consider him to be my only reliable source because of the patterns I've seen of like low key spreading a lot of propaganda, but so low key no one's gonna notice it. It is a Palestinian advocate. That's why I don't. Like, I still want to give him the platform to be like,
exactly.
Because he is doing good and he is spreading information, but at the same time, I could go off on this. Like, at the end of the day, he is spreading propaganda. There was at one point he was, like, talking about the American election, and he was really advocating for Jill Stein. Now, this is dangerous because one, a lot of his following don't know how the American system works. Second, arguably or not, because it's online and people obviously feel heavy about the cause of what's happening and like the genocide, a lot of people are going to follow obviously pages like his. So when you're advocating for someone in the American election, and this was not an election to be played with. It wasn't.
It
was really important. Obviously, a lot of people say there wasn't one candidate better than the other. Whatever you think. I'm not going to argue about that one. Because to me, it's very clear.
Okay, sure. Like, just...
It was very clear for multiple reasons.
Like, just leave your racism at the door next time, actually. You could have just done that.
But when you advocate for someone...
Especially Jill Stein, I was just like, I'm pretty sure she's a Zionist.
So... She said, don't vote for me. She said, don't vote for me. And people still voted for her.
But, like, even then, I'm pretty sure she's a Zionist.
She is. She said after.
So what was like, guys, vote for Jill. Yeah. Vote for her.
Like, and I say this is propaganda because... as he was advocating so strongly for this woman, he was also tearing down a black woman and spreading so much propaganda about the one candidate. I did not see a single thing of him talking about Trump. Not a single thing. If he was talking shit about both candidates, maybe I would change my mind of, you know what, he's talking about the American election. Maybe he's not spreading propaganda. He had a very specific agenda, and that's where propaganda comes into play. Because when you have a very specific political agenda, and you want something to happen with that agenda, you are going to spread misinformation and lies about a specific party to make the other one more favorable.
That's how the Holocaust happened. Just
search it up. Search it up. So by him advocating Jill Stein so heavily, I understood where he was coming from, but at the same time, you just let your million-something following to now go vote for Jill Stein. And mostly people who aren't even educated about, one, what's actually happening in Gaza and Lebanon. two people who are hopping on a bandwagon of activism. And second, well, third, actually, people who don't know American politics. It's not like Canada where you can vote and have majority and minority in the government.
Yeah.
There's electoral college in America. It doesn't work the same way. I'm so for voting third party in Canada because it can still make a difference. In American election, guys, voting third party, especially with how deep-rooted the system is, there is no point.
Yeah, you are, like, losing a vote. Like, you are wasting a vote.
You're giving a state to the wrong person. And that's what happened. Yeah,
I also find it very interesting, though, how much emphasis we put on Kamala Harris's, like, her as, like, a DA. And, like, we love to blame this black woman for everything.
She was a vice president. Like, what has she had done?
Everything. And I'm just like, okay, wait a second. Yeah. So how many years ago when this person was president and that person was president and there was genocides happening during that time, were you guys blaming them? Like, genocides were still happening before Kamala Harris was in power. I'm so sorry. What is happening, the genocide's happening in Palestine right now, that has been going on before Kamala Harris was even alive. So blaming that entirely on her it's racism, it's anti-blackness, it's anti-blackness.
There was never such expectations for any other vice president that I've ever seen, but for Kamala. Everyone was expecting her to do so much. First of all, when you're vice president, you're mostly given one or two things to work on. She was given immigration. Everything she wanted to do with immigration, the Republican Party denied it. Therefore, she didn't do that much because she couldn't do it. It was not her fault. But people were expecting her to act like a fucking president. That's not what a vice president does.
She's not.
Babes, vice president.
Also, I don't think people realize that, like, the president doesn't even have that much power as you think that they do. Like, they actually don't. Like, clock it. Like, they actually don't. That's why they say it's important to vote within your states. Because that's who actually has the power to change anything. The president don't really got it.
And this is where I have beef with this man.
That's why Trump can't talk, bro. Like, he thinks that, I'm like, you have no idea what you're doing. This man's like, okay, looks like we're going to change, what's it called? An amendment. We're going to change the 14th Amendment.
We're going to change the Charter of Freedoms.
The 14th Amendment? What is wrong with you, you idiot? Your father is an immigrant, so you shouldn't even be in the country then.
You're dating an immigrant. Your wife is an immigrant. People don't understand, like, how...
No, and that's when people are voting for him, it really pissed me off because it just showed me that, like, especially, like, people our age, people love to say, Gen Z are super, like, liberal, that, we're actually, like, a lot of them are very conservative. I don't think people realize that. A lot of Gen Z is giving very conservative more than liberal.
But that's what I mean, like, we're living in a state of neoliberalism. Like, people don't understand. People are liberals, but they're so conservative. And they don't, like, especially with
What's
the
that
entire
word?
red
Conservative
pill ideology vibe.
What's that word? You're physically conservative. That's that word I was looking for. Let me explain that.
Let me go back to why I had this man on my red list on Instagram. Because he was advocating for Jill Stein so badly. After Trump won, all hell broke loose in his comment section. Everyone was blaming him. Everyone was blaming him for being like, why'd you tell us to advocate for Jill Stein? One, you're stupid. Why'd you even vote for Jill Stein?
Like, I'm so sorry. When I heard about that, I was like, I didn't know.
You look at someone's Instagram and you said, well, he's going to vote for Jill Stein.
Because people are chronically online. I know I'm chronically online, but that's chronically online. That's tapped.
So when Trump won, everyone was like, oh my God, why chose to vote for Jill Stein? Did you not do your research? Did you not look into why you should vote for Jill Stein?
People don't do that anymore.
Obviously. I just found it...
People actually use the internet as their research. It's so brain rot, guys. It's actually so brain rot, and I think about it constantly because I have to, like, literally stop myself from doing the same thing. Because how many times I have to be like, what the hell, Ifat? Go on Google. Stop going on Instagram. Whoa.
Find an academic paper.
Whoa. Find an academic paper. Like, literally yesterday I had to stop myself from, like, getting, like, ideas on...
Yeah.
I literally had to stop myself because I'm like, this is the most brain rot thing I can do right now.
Yeah.
This is so brain rot. It's giving Candace Owen. Like, let me not. Let me not.
But yeah, so everyone was, like, shitting on him in the comment section. And then I go on his page. Motherfucker deleted all of the posts of him advocating for Jill Stein. Every single one of them. Anything about the American election, deleted.
No, shit. Like, I just...
Deleted. You're a lawyer. You're a credible lawyer, and you're deleting your sources because you can't handle the heat? Babes, you created propaganda. You created propaganda. You're a credible lawyer who just created propaganda. You dehumanized a black woman.
Clock it.
Advocated for Zionists.
Oh.
And then
no, but that's so crazy to me. You can't even tell, like, you can't even admit to yourself that was anti-black. One, you won't admit that to yourself because it's, like, actually crazy to me how you didn't know that Jill Stein was a Zionist. And, like, you were shitting on Kamala. Like, ripping her to shreds. The way people were going through, like, all of her career decisions left, like, trying to discredit her as much as they can. I'm like, this is not the same thing. It's not the same thing as going into somebody's history to making sure that they're credible. It's literally trying to destroy them. Like, that was the difference.
It was truly insane. I've never, like, genuinely, I've been following American politics for, like, a few years now. Well, like, I feel like since Obama got into office, I've been really more, like, obviously I was kind of the age to kind of follow American politics. But, like
14,
guys,
13, yeah.
Not even with Obama, it was like this. It, like, obviously there was a lot of racism still happening, but I've never seen, maybe it's also because
like someone having to prove themselves so much.
Yes, and she was proven to be the most educated, and, like, she was the best for the job.
Also, my thing is, I'm like, there was, what's it called? They have debates, right? Mm-hmm. The debates. Y'all heard what Trump was saying, and you guys still thought I'm going to
eating
vote
the dogs, they're
for
eating
this
the cats.
man.
I watched it. It
Bro,
was so stupid.
That had me actually so annoyed after that. And then seeing that you guys still voted for him just made me know where you guys stand.
Yeah. No,
y'all hate black women. You hate black people.
Mm-hmm.
You hate black descent. Just say that.
No, I agree.
Leave it at that.
Because I've never met someone who's more Republican leaning, who would actually give me arguments to why Trump could be president. The only argument I've ever heard was the economic status.
Which is wrong. Which is literally wrong.
Status. The one that Obama gave him? Is that the one we're talking about? The one that Biden had to repair?
Like, that's not ending until, 2025?
What, the stock market that you don't know how to use?
Oh, ate that.
Is that
ate that?
The one that you're still broke? Like, why are you broke then? Why are you broke then?
Oh, because it's Obama's fault and it's the Democrats' fault. It's Biden's fault. It's always their fault.
Listen, if you want to talk to me about economic shit, be rich first. Because I'm not about to sit here and listen to you complain about the economic status of the world. You don't know where anything is in the grocery store. You don't know how much the electricity bill is. You don't do your own laundry. You're broke. You don't take women out on dates. You're not a provider. Don't talk to me about economic shit in the world. When you don't know how to do shit.
Matter of fact, tell me.
And
what's economics? Define. Right now, please. I love when men talk about. Men love to bring up, guys, the economics. Explain.
And they don't even understand world trade value. Tariffs? They have no idea what the fuck that means. They don't understand what tariffs are. When they voted for him and Trump said 25% tariffs, they're like, what?
What is that? Oh my goodness.
Babe, this is the economic state you wanted. This is what you've been advocating.
You guys got upset when we said tax the rich.
You're not even rich. You're poor.
So why are you mad? Like, it actually will always send me to, like, shambles. Why are you mad? Yeah. Why are you mad?
Yeah. And listen up. God forbid I will be rich one day. I really do hope, but I will never be the level of rich where I do not help people.
Also, the level of rich where it doesn't make sense. Like, why do you have so much money?
In
this society, guys, capitalism, there's no way that you can live. There's no way that you can be rich, like dirty rich, and not be profiting off of someone. Mm-hmm. Like, you cannot.
That's why the healthcare CEO died. Think about it. Let's grab that around. Luigi! I know you're not alone in this.
Luigi!
But listen, the entire mastermind of this entire thing is so fascinating. Let's actually talk about it, because we're like so off topic. But this is entertaining.
This is activism. This is activism.
No, this is actually activism to its core, because this is like, they called it something. I don't know exactly what they called it. I was like reading something in the news. They were like, this is, oh my god, anyways, okay. If it comes to mind, it comes to mind. But the levels to this, I don't know if people are just looking into it.
No, the way I've been seeing, like, so many people talking about it is so funny.
Luigi, apparently, okay, because I don't have the facts right now, he was, like, a valedictorian, super rich family, who also was in the healthcare business, by the way.
Apparently.
Supposedly. But he is very wealthy. He's gone to, like, the best university, like, everything was set up for this man. Him and his mom have chronic pain. I don't know exactly what his mom has, but he has really bad back problems. He's gone multiple surgeries, whatever. And I just want to say, this man is too smart. The things that he has done, this is why I'm like, there's definitely multiple people involved, because everything just makes sense. Okay, first let's start.
Everything makes sense. That's why multiple people are involved.
We need like a deep dive into this, because there's too much.
This is gonna be like a part 2, low key.
Yeah, he rode on a city bike in New York with a 3D printed gun. He 3D printed his gun.
That's actually so funny.
To make it silent. What type of gun did he 3D print, you may ask? A gun that's historically used to kill pigs.
Okay, no, this man was smart. This man was very smart. This man is very smart.
In his bag, there was Monopoly money.
That was hilarious. When I heard that, I said, yeah, he ate.
Monopoly money. He was found at a McDonald's in Pennsylvania.
Snitch.
But here's the thing. I don't think the person actually snitched.
Oh.
Because, okay.
Oh.
There was a $50,000 reward.
Oh.
For if someone tipped him in.
50.
I think he went up to the McDonald's worker. Because think about the McDonald's CEO. How much money they make compared to the employees.
Well, yeah.
He probably went and said, I want you to collect the reward. And then I think he voluntarily put himself in. And this is where multiple people get involved. McDonald's has a Monopoly game.
Yes. He
was arrested at the Pennsylvania location.
Yes.
On the Monopoly board.
Yes.
The McDonald's game. Pennsylvania Railroad. Pennsylvania Railroad was a card. And McDonald's, apparently this was like a huge thing when it first started. A bunch of millionaires corrupted the game and gave like all the tickets to their friends and family to collect all the money McDonald's had to give. But they were millionaires already. Okay. So his point was he's playing the Monopoly game. He got his house in Pennsylvania. Now, because people were like following the board. Mm-hmm. The next card after that or something was the get out of jail free card. Yeah. He's in jail right now. He's playing the fucking Monopoly game. Yo! Monopoly is a multiple player game.
Wait, that's actually tripping me out. Wait.
Monopoly is a multiple player game.
This is a movie.
Therefore, now it's someone else's turn to play
Y'all
Monopoly.
hear this movie right now? That's a movie,
that
Sierra.
is.
Sierra has a movie.
No, that's why people are like, it's actually not funny. Because now, he's about to get out of jail free card.
This is actually not funny.
You stay in jail until the other player starts playing. Or you have a get out of free jail card. His get out of free jail card is jury nullification, which basically means he's not fit for a jury because of his pain.
Okay.
And like they could testify insanity because pain drives you crazy.
Okay.
So that might be his get out of free jail card, or his lawyer is gonna prove you have the wrong guy.
And because he's like a fine Italian white man, like I just.
So
like,
now we're kind of just waiting what's gonna happen. If another CEO dies, just know a Monopoly game is
last year is on like.
A Monopoly game is going down. They have no idea why Monopoly money was in the bag.
Cause that's so like I thought it was like cunty, like oh,
Yes.
haha, like you know like.
But also, the dumb bitch who turned him in. First of all, there was no tips for an entire week. No tips for an entire week. No one
Wait,
wanted
did she
to
get
turn
the
him in.
money?
No, because she
Oh.
called 911. She called 911 so she didn't get any money because she was supposed to call the tip line. J.O.
That's stupid.
Jail.
That's actually idiotic.
Yeah,
That's really
but
stupid.
I don't know. We might have updates.
We might have updates. I
Because
hope we have
this is
updates
insane.
soon.
This is actually insane. This is what keeps me entertained at night.
No, like this has been very entertaining. I've been loving to
Yeah.
see all the edits of him.
Yeah.
That was kind of like that was really funny.
And apparently, like, the amount of Monopoly money, don't quote me on this. I think the amount of Monopoly money
Don't quote her on
he had
it.
in his bag was the amount of money his insurance was declined for.
That's so
Yeah,
kind.
but then people are like,
That's
his family is so rich they
kind.
could have paid out of pocket. But I think
Isn't
it's
his
like,
family dead? Like, isn't his like parents dead? Like his mom.
I think his mom died. Yeah,
His mom.
Yeah.
What about his dad?
he owns the healthcare facilities and stuff. I think.
Oh.
I don't know the entire. Like,
Is someone gonna shoot
family
his
history.
dad? Like.
No. That's why I think there's multiple people, and like the people who were like
'Cause-
caught on camera, they all look different. So I think they just pinned him. He's taking the fall, but he's gonna get out of jail. I truly don't think no one's gonna get caught for this shit.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm
Okay,
excited.
nah, this is.
It's like an actual real life.
No,
movie.
because why is it giving Law and Order SVU,
Yeah,
bro? I
yeah.
live for that show. It's giving
Yeah.
that.
And then the like NYPD like posted a picture, and because apparently I don't know if you saw this, he had like urinated in his pants, and they like spread that picture around. But apparently it's like really common after back surgery
Oh,
to like
I
when you
didn't
need
see
to go to the
that.
bathroom, you need to go to the bathroom.
I didn't see that.
So yeah, a lot of people are like really angry about it because they're like, you're trying to humiliate this man.
Yeah.
Because
you
they
are-
don't think he's gonna be able to put them in jail. If you search up online his public records, he has no charges right now.
Oh, like he's
'Cause
smart and has a
there's no
clean
evidence
record.
that he for sure
So
did
like
it.
they're gonna take some like he just went in like he just had like a psychotic moment right there. That's all.
But even at that, if they can even prove it was him, they can't prove it's him. That's what the lawyer is saying. The lawyer said I was shown zero evidence. They're just holding him because they think he did it, which is cause for a
He's
mistrial.
gonna come
You
out.
can't do that.
He's getting out, y'all.
That's why I'm like so interested about what's gonna happen. But
This is good.
yeah.
Some good stuff.
Yeah, how are they gonna prove he's not alone in this? There's no way.
It'll be interesting to see like who
And it
was
was
involved.
broad daylight. It was
Key,
like
yeah.
7 in the morning. Rode away on a bike, city bike, tracked
On
city
a
bike.
bike too. I'm sorry, nobody just went like
If he did not want to get caught,
pushed him or
he
something.
would have gone away with it. He would have gone away with it. But he
He's
was
smart
caught.
enough to not get caught.
Yeah.
Damn.
Also, actually, the reason they had an actual picture of him is because he was flirting with Starbucks baristas. Who flirts with a barista before going to be a hitman?
He just wanted
also-
super. No, he's smart. This nigga's smart.
Yes. But not only that, Starbucks and McDonald's CEOs, guys, like think about how much money they own. It's an entire game of Monopoly. I swear to God, they're playing Monopoly. There's multiple people. That's how I don't know if people are looking into this, but it can't be
multiple people.
It can't be a coincidence at this point.
It can't. I don't think it is. I think you're onto something, honestly. You're onto something. There's too much
information in my brain with this.
You're onto something. But I think also with Luigi, he actually low-key put into action his words.
He wrote a manifesto.
Like,
this is activism. No one just writes a manifesto.
No one just writes a manifesto, y'all. I know manifestos like have started a lot of different things, like a lot of like low-key evil things. But no one just writes a manifesto.
And this is organized crime.
No, you have me thinking right now. It's actually tripping me out. It's actually tripping me out. Like,
it's like, you know that guy, that documentary, like, Don't Kill the Cats on Netflix?
Oh my god, Don't Fuck with the Cats?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's giving this.
Yeah.
It's giving this.
That's what's making me like...
Yeah. Only smart-ass people... Well, that guy wasn't smart, but this guy... Luigi,
that guy thought he was being smart, but he was a narcissist. That's why.
No, that's what I mean. Like, he wasn't smart. And, like, he was caught so easily after. Like, once they knew
because he's a nurse, he was like, look at me, guys, I'm here. Like, he wanted to be seen. I remember that. Bye. Now we're going to crime. Why are we going into crime?
Okay,
that's bad.
Okay, but actually, let's bridge this. Because crime, it can be activism. Because people respond to violence.
Yes.
People respond to violence. Look at how much traction this is getting, like the Luigi case, and how many people are now being aware of classism. People are now being aware, why am I being declined healthcare right now? Why am I being declined, like, insurance that I pay for?
Well, smart people. Some people are just looking at this and being like, oh my god, he's so fine. I know I said that, but, like, I'm also looking at the other context of...
He is fine.
He is fine. Yes. But also classism, guys. Yeah. Like, hi,
classism
capitalism. Hi. Yeah. Like...
I think some people need a wake-up call when it starts affecting them.
Oh.
Like, that's the thing. Like... I don't wish any harm upon anyone, but some people, sometimes I wish them a little bit of a taste.
No, I do. Yes. I never said I never wish no harm upon nobody. Yeah. It never came out of my mouth. I think some people deserve what they get. And sometimes I do wish that upon some people too. I tell, you know what? I used to tell myself, Aoife, no, like, you can't wish worse upon people. Like, I do, though. I actually do, because some of you guys actually deserve to learn a lesson. Some of y'all really need to learn a lesson. You can't be treating and acting like that. You can't be treating people like that. You can't be acting like that and act like you're not going to get what you're going to get one day. You're going to get it. I promise. Yeah. Because I am praying for it. Just know I am. I'm praying for it. I really am. I do wish the worst.
No, it is true, though.
Especially for an awful person. Especially if you're a person like, oh my god, this is like a pet peeve of mine. But like people who spout like activism, like people when it comes to activism, when they get upset when things are too activisty for them, or like it's like it's too like, guys, it's just too much. It's too much. I'm like, what does that mean?
You're like, oh, genocide is so bad, but let me go make children work. Guys, you can't do both.
It doesn't work like that.
You cannot be an advocate for war and genocide is bad, but let me contribute to climate change. How does that... It
doesn't make sense.
If you're anti-war, you have to advocate for climate change. Both of them go together. So that means ethical things. Not consuming that much. Like, no one is perfect when it comes to activism, but at least make it make sense. At least make it make sense. If you're talking about the genocide in Palestine, talk about the genocide in Sudan. Talk about the genocide in Congo. Talk about other things other than just the one thing. And I also understand my focus on one thing particularly. If you want to have a niche, that is so fine.
But maybe not in human rights.
But at least be educated.
Yeah.
Don't
not
be
just
educated
that.
about just the one thing.
Also, like, I feel like your anti-blackness really shows when you talk about the specific countries and genocides that you're like supporting. Like, I can tell where, especially like if I see somebody's page and they call themselves activists or like say they're for human rights, and I don't see anything about like Congo, anything about black people, I unfollow real quick because I know the minute that anybody criticizes you about lacking blackness in your activism, like, I know you're going to get upset. I know you're going to get triggered by it. And I know you're going to respond by saying, well, we're going through things too. I get that. But two things can be true at once. Okay. Yeah. You can be going through things and still be anti-Black. I'm so sorry. Like I get it. Like Islamophobia shows in that way. And like, what's it called? The word is slipping my mouth. Islamophobia and like, just like racism. You know, shit happens. I understand that. I just don't understand why it's so hard to get that Black people or like Black experiences are. Oh my God, I'm losing my train of thought.
It's okay. I don't understand people, especially there's a lot of people online, and I'm not calling out anyone specifically because I think it's just like that's what happens with media. It's just very performative because if it affects you personally, like. I know obviously a lot of Middle Eastern people are very heavily affected by Palestine. I've never, ever, ever, ever seen you talk about anything else in your entire life but this. To me, activism is a way of life. It's a lifestyle. It's the way you carry yourself.
That's it.
I just can't take you seriously when we're talking about Palestine and you don't know any other thing that's happening in the world.
Clock it. I'm not
going to say that your activism is not valid, but it's not giving.
But it's rooted in anti-Blackness. Yeah, yes. Activism is rooted in
and just in ignorance in general. Because how are we talking about Palestine and not, like, thinking about how do, like...
Why are we acting as if Black Palestinians don't exist? As if Afro-Palestinians are not there? Like, you guys can keep on saying, guys, not right now. Like, things are happening. Like, a genocide is happening. Like, we shouldn't be having this conversation about, like, Arab colonialism. No, we should, because two things can be true at once. They're rooted within each other. So I don't understand why we ignore history that is still impacting us to this day right now. Yeah. You guys are literally saying, fuck all the Afro-Palestinians, actually. We're not going to deal with the racism, with the anti-Blackness, because we have Guys, don't you think that the Black Palestinians know that? Like, they still have to go through this genocide and experiencing anti-Blackness. So maybe it is time to have that conversation. Like, I think it's just, like, a way to not want to feel, I guess, shame. It's kind of like how white people don't want to be told that they're racist. I don't think that people realize that, like, you sound like that. And like, also when it comes to like racism, like, I've experienced a lot more racism from Arabs than I have from white people, but we don't want to have a conversation of Arab colonialism in comparison to like European colonialism. Not even in comparison, but like as the same as European colonialism. Yeah, they have their own distinct traits, and like they're not exactly the same. Like, there's obviously nuance, but I don't think people understand that like the Arab colonization was actually longer. So yeah, maybe let's clock that. And it's still happening to this day. The slave trade. Yeah. To be exact. Black people.
Yeah. And there's also conversation to be held about like extremist groups.
Yes.
Because newsflash, a lot of the extremist groups in the Middle East were, one, invented by America, and two, by Russia. And they are currently still funded by those two things. So you can't ignore how conflict is made without history, because history gives context. And also it's just... Because obviously when we're talking about extremist groups, there's obviously so much bias. And like, we don't acknowledge, I don't really know where I'm going with this, but you know what I mean? Okay.
No, you're good.
it's like there's so much, obviously, like Islamophobia when we're talking about extremist groups, or I don't like saying terrorism because it's so one-sided. People think that these groups are terrorists.
Especially like in an American context, like a criminal usually equates to terrorists. Like,
that's what I mean. Yeah. It's like, what is Netanyahu doing that's not considered terrorism? Because to me, he is textbook terrorist.
He is a textbook terrorist.
He's terrorizing people. With or without war, he is terrorizing people.
I mean, America as a country is a terrorist.
There's rules of war.
Y'all be killing people. Sorry.
This is not... Okay, first, this is genocide. But even if we were to talk about it in the context of war, there's rules to war. And it's not to terrorize people. that is actually out of the book. You can't terrorize people. You can't terrorize civilians. Civilians are protected.
Mm-hmm.
Children, women, and men who are not fighting are protected and should not be touched without penalty and without consequence. Genocide is where this is not a war, because he's doing it on purpose to terrorize children, women, and men. It's a totally different conflict. But even, like I said, even if we were to call it a war, guys, he's a criminal. He's a terrorist, and he needs to be arrested.
Yeah.
The other extremist groups are defending themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, do I feel bad for the Jewish people who are experiencing anti-Semitism because of this?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. But at the same time, recognize where the anti-Semitism is coming from and be an advocate to do the opposite.
Yeah, I was talking to my sisters about that, though, because we were saying how, like, I don't think Jewish people understand, like, where they are in society in this century right now. Yeah. Like, you actually hold a place very similar to whiteness, very close to the power that whiteness, like, has. So maybe let's recognize that and know that you hold that power, and that that can be very dangerous. And they don't want to hear that, because they're being told, like, oh, well, you're telling me, like, fuck my history. But no, the history is clear. But you know what's also clear with that history is Germany literally, gave y'all reparations. Would they ever do that for Black people? I'm just saying, y'all. The point is, like, it's clear as day. Yeah. You're white to white people. I hope you know that.
The history that seriously when the history is being repeated by the same people. It's not like, oh, it's happening to you again. You're doing it to another person.
Yeah.
History cannot be taken seriously when you're the one doing it to another kind of people. Yeah. The serious effect of it has diminished. Yeah. Because it's like, how can I take your history and your pain ever so seriously when, one, I understand that the generations are not that far. There's still people alive that were in the Holocaust. And I want to acknowledge that, because this is not a conversation about exactly the Holocaust. I'm just saying the reparations of what the Holocaust made and what Zionism is. They're both related, which is why history does give context. But as a Jewish person, I cannot imagine playing the card of, like, well, we were in the Holocaust, and then your people are doing the same thing. Yeah. And I understand it's not your people, because obviously being a Zionist is much different
than being Jewish.
But how can you stand for Israel as a state when you guys are, like, it's a full circle moment for you guys right now?
Yeah, Israel shouldn't be a state.
It's like, why is there... Their circle shouldn't have continued, guys. Yeah. It shouldn't have continued. But here we are, seeing and witnessing the same thing not that many years later. Guys, and generations are still alive. Yeah. That's how you know it's not long.
Nakba was 70 years ago, yeah.
Like, they're, like, maybe almost 100 years old. That's, like, it was like, what, 70 years ago? Almost? Yeah. Like, guys. But, like, history shouldn't repeat itself that fucking fast.
It shouldn't, and it continuously does, though. But you made a really good point at the beginning when you were, like, saying how people online just started talking, especially when I seen people just start talking about, like, Palestine and advocating for Palestine. I'm like, yes, that's beautiful. And I'm also just like, where have you guys been?
Where were you for Black Lives Movement?
Like, where are you?
Where are you for climate change?
Like,
where are you?
Where have you guys been?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know you guys cared about people like that. Like, what?
No, like, that's why I'm just. What? It's like a fine line. So I'm so grateful you guys are here now. But why did it take you so long?
Like.
And the people were like, I'm not into really politics like that.
That doesn't make sense to me. Unless, no, like, it doesn't make sense to me unless you're like a Black person who has experienced a level of, like, anti-Blackness being in, like, Arab spaces. Let's have a conversation. I can understand that. But, like, if you're just some, like,
no, because the worst
regular old person who is just like, oh my God, everybody's caring about the Arabs right now, so let's care. Yeah. Let's care about them, even though we should have been. Yeah. Then all of a sudden, like, you start supporting, and it's like, You don't actually care.
But that's what also frustrates me, because Black people will be like at the forefront of every movement.
Every movement, but nobody actually wants to admit it. Why are we lying? Nobody likes to admit the influence that Blackness brings, that Black culture is. I understand why it's anti-Blackness, period. Because the minute you say that, hey, Black people have influences and this, that, they're like, oh my gosh, it's not about Black people. It's not always about Black people. It's like people get this automatic anger.
But Black people make it about you. That's the problem. Black people make it about you.
But then you start making it about
your cause. And you're still being anti-Black. Crazy work. Crazy work. And the anger behind it is even more like terrifying, especially when it comes to fucking Disney characters. Let's talk about it. I've been waiting for this and it's actually been pissing me off. It's been pissing me off because I'm like, first of all, let's talk about How to Train Your Dragon. You guys are mad that this literally quarter Black girl is going to be playing, I forgot her name too, going to be playing a Viking. Let me know if you guys know where the concept of race even started. The concept of race started in the 16th century. Viking is between the 8th century and the 11th century. You guys talking about, Black people weren't there. Concept of race didn't exist at that time. So yes, Black people were definitely in those works. Not just that, there's proof that Black people were in Scandinavia before the 14th century. So shut up. Please stop talking. Read some journals. Read some scholarly journals and shut the hell up, because I don't want to hear it anymore. Stop talking about, this girl shouldn't be. Yes, she should. You're mad because she's Black. You're not mad about historical accuracy. You actually don't give a shit about historical accuracy. You don't. You care that she is Black and that she looks Black. That's what you're mad about. Let's say it. But the thing is that nobody actually wants to say that. Everyone's like, no, it's because she doesn't look like the character. Who gives a flying fuck if she doesn't look like the character? We don't care. And then afterwards, like, what if Tiana was white? Tiana was a Nigerian Black girlie, so her identity had to, her whole persona had to do with her identity. So it wouldn't make sense. Voodoo. Yeah. It wouldn't make sense for. It wouldn't make sense for a white person to play Tiana. So I don't want to hear that comparison. But it actually is really frustrating that white people, especially white women, don't even want to see what they're doing is being racist. You're literally being racist to this little Black girl who is picked for this role because she was good for this role. And she looks like the character, just a little bit tanned. Really. She looks like the character with the tan, and you're mad about it. Wasn't blonde. They were really upset that she had like braids and that her hair wasn't blonde.
So now that the Viking braids are in the thing that you guys like to say, Viking braids, you're mad about it? She has her Viking braids. You're mad about it. She has her Viking braids. You're mad about the Viking. She has it on. You're happy.
The Viking braids so much for.
The Viking braids are on her head. They're there. And you're still not satisfied. What do you want from us? Like, what do you actually want? And my thing is this blaming Black people and people of color for representation. You're blaming them for us. You're blaming us for us wanting diversity. The fuck is wrong with you? You're blaming us for wanting diversity. Yeah. I cannot believe that.
And why are they acting as if, like, she didn't audition? Like, they chose the Black girl.
But no, apparently, because it's not possible. Apparently, it's not possible.
No, that's what I mean.
Apparently, it's not possible. The shock.
She never played the role.
The shock and awe. But that's why there was a shock with Halle playing Ariel, having a Black mermaid. That was insane. Nigga, she looks like a mermaid. Her features are very ethereal, very siren. Like, she looks like a mermaid and she sounds like a siren. I don't understand. That just didn't make sense. Also, Tangled.
Yeah, I have a one to pick with this one. Because I feel like, where was the movie based? I don't remember. Yeah, I just know that's how people were arguing. This movie's based in, like, Norwegian or something. And I was like, is it like in Norway or
it's a fictional island kingdom that resembles medieval Germany.
Okay. Yeah.
I just want you guys to know it was between the 16th century to the 18th century. So if you guys wanted to really focus on that era of slavery and racism, you're just a racist. Like, I don't know what that means. Yeah. Like, that's really strange.
To me, I'm like, okay, when Disney princess movies are literally fictional, unless identity has to do with the movie, like Tiana. Tiana's identity is the movie, guys. Mulan.
Moana.
Moana. What's the other one? The indigenous girl. I forget her name.
R? It starts with R, right?
No, what's the movie called? Oh
Which
my God.
one? Which one?
Pocahontas.
Oh. Wait, Pocahontas is not one we should put in. X that one. Sorry.
No, I'm just saying, like, her identity
had to do with
the movie.
Even though the movie was awful.
Like, that's another conversation for another time. But it's like, movies like Rapunzel, bitch, anyone can play that fucking role. And in fact, me and Aoife were talking about this. I think it should be played by an Indian woman. I think the movie should be based in India.
Oh my gosh,
because
bro!
Like a Indian royalty princess.
Oh my god!
How fire the fucking movie could be.
How that would eat? Like, tell me who else has long ass, big ass. Like, I promise you,
oiled ass hair to the gods. Like they get oil in their hair. That's why it's so luscious and so long.
Also, we can look at like the different cultures in India too, like that really like represents like the importance of like hair and like the honoring the hair. I think it would be so cool to have the representation.
Imagine like the costumes in the movie, like oh my god, the flower.
But you know, you have this idea that's so like it's so like oh my god, this can be such an exciting and beautiful thing to see.
I think it'd
whereas
be amazing.
other white women see it as very threatening,
like,
and they're like, no, my identity is being you're ripping this away from me, as if they don't have everything else in the world. And I don't think, again, we talked about this in the car, but how like diversity actually has nothing to do with white women, and white women are not even included in that conversation of diversity because we already know that you're included in it. So shut the fuck, it's not about you in this circle. I don't think white women realize the power that they hold, especially being white in this society. You're like a man. I'm so sorry. You're like a white man. You're like, white man is right here, and you're like right here. And it depends. It really depends on everything else about you, really. It depends on how you look after that. It depends on your sexuality, but everything else, you're a pretty little white girl. Giving right. It's giving right here. So when I hear you're complaining about diversity, it's very strange. I don't know why you don't think it's racist or anti-black or anti-black. I don't know what you're not understanding.
I don't understand it either.
I see that, I'm like, this is a very weird thing to say out loud.
A lot of people too
is undercover racism.
A lot of them will be online with the most like evidence-based research as to why this movie cannot be made with an Indian woman, and they still can't check their bias as to why it bothers them so much. And at this point, it's gone to the point where I'm like, is this just for views? Yeah.
Because it cannot just be about like, oh, no, I need someone to look like me. It can't just be because everybody looks like you.
That's what I'm like.
I'm so sorry because you guys actually don't need representation in the same way that black women and women of color need representation. And you know that because you never had to think about being represented. The only reason why you're thinking about it now is because now you're feeling like your identity is being quote unquote erased. Even though this movie was never told that it was for you. That's the crazy thing. You're taking so much like so much privilege and hold onto this. It's not even it's not even for you either. And you're like, it's mine. That's so white women really believe strange. Anything is it belongs to them. It's like, what's the word? It's like, I own this. The way you guys believe you have ownership over everything. It's so interesting and it's scary. It's scary because the response is like when you take it away, where you tell them you actually don't have ownership. The utter anger and
they act crazy.
They act shocked. They act shocked and crazy. I'm like, what is going on? But it's like, it's actually just your racism. You don't want to admit that you hate black women.
Yeah. Which is why it's just, sometimes I really have to be presently not interested on my videos because I can't stand people, and this is the worst part, they cover it as if it is activism. Like, they cover it as in it's like, no, guys, like, I so understand why this and this and this and why you guys think that this person should play this role, but what about the white people? Who gives a fuck about the white people?
Who gives a fuck?
White person, who gives a fuck about the white people? If a white person were to seriously come up to me being offended, I would just look at them and walk away. That is the most unserious, stupidest shit I think I've ever heard. don't come at me with that bullshit. Genuinely coming from a white person, do not come at me with some white ass bullshit. I can't stand you guys. I cannot stand you guys. It's not deep for you. And it's not deep for you. There is absolutely nothing deep about this for you. It's something deep for people of color.
For black people, it actually matters.
They grew up with people and people in TV shows that did not represent them. Let them have something. Let them have representation in some things. If you're so insulted, watch the original. Watch the original. Let the little girls and the little boys have new representation and diversity in shows that we all grew up loving. What is the problem? Why are you so against happiness? Why are you against happiness?
Why are you so against
You're
happiness?
Racist. You don't want anyone happy.
You're racist.
And you're white. Just sit with it. And just sit with it.
You're racist and you're white. Just sit with it. You're racist and you're white. Just sit with
your
it.
Whiteness and think about why an Indian princess makes you so fucking uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because it is embarrassing for you to be uncomfortable. It is embarrassing. And the fact that you go online to talk about this embarrassment of yours is even worse.
And I hate people acting like as if it's the same thing when black people react or women of color react to them being misrepresented in films or media. Because it's not the same thing, and I don't know we're acting like it's the same thing. Black people have a history of being caricatures on film and media, so I don't want to hear anything being like, well, what if it's not the other way around, because you can't erase history and restart history. Unfortunately, you can't go back in the past. So let's stop saying that, because it's not the same thing.
There's shows and movies who have done representation correctly. And the first
and it's by black people who are directing it. I'm just it's because people of the descent is directing the film.
Yeah, like my favorite show on Netflix, what's it called? It's like the Indian family. Oh, what's her?
On Netflix.
Yeah, it's like a show. Is it Have I?
Oh, Never Have I Ever?
I love that show. It's like with the Indian girl lead, right?
Yeah.
Like most of the people in the show are Indian. That is honestly probably one of the best representations I've seen.
Period.
On Netflix.
I haven't finished it because it wasn't really my vibe, but I understand. I understand why people liked it though. Like I understand it, and I think the character too, like.
I just liked it.
She was cool. I liked her.
I feel like
she was
sometimes
stupid. She was
movies
stupid, but liked her.
Make it like her being Indian is the entire plot. But
also they make it as if it's like a joke.
That's what I mean. But in this show, they did it where she was just Indian. She was just Indian, and her family was just Indian. Yeah. And they were cultural people, and they did like culture significant things.
They were just doing their stuff.
No, that's what I mean. They were just a normal Indian family.
It wasn't weird.
And the plot was not that she was Indian.
She wasn't wearing a bindi every day to school.
No, that's what I mean. I love representation like that. So like you did not make the fact that she was Indian the entire show. I love that. It's not a performance of her culture, and it's not like you said a caricature. Yeah. I love shows like that. I don't watch TV and movies that much.
Yeah,
that
me
was
too.
One that I'm like, this was done right.
That's when they're actually like, when they're trying to be, when media and film is trying to be like super activist-y and stuff like that. Yeah. Like, when they do that, I start thinking about like, you know, when people are like I was saying before, like how people get upset that like things are basically too progressive. And this is why I also mean that like I don't think our generation is as progressive as we think we are, because I genuinely think I'm progressive, but when I talk to other people they're not very progressive people.
Or they portray themselves as progressive.
They portray themselves as progressive, but they're not very progressive. Like we're women, so we have internalized misogyny, you know what I mean? And like other people, like when they talk and I hear it and I'm like, don't you hear what you're saying? But it's like they fully cannot hear anything and see anything about like themselves. It's kind of like it trips me out a little bit. Like it trips me out.
I even clock myself. Especially when I argue with women, sometimes I'm like, I feel like a man right now. It's like
I feel like a man right now. No, but like also like I always hear like people not liking like how LGBTQ schools can be, but like that, even like people our age saying that I find that so like I get so like off-putted by that because I'm just like, we're not as people act like it's us who are like pushing this LGBTQ like propaganda, this LGBTQ propaganda on people and whatnot, but it's actually not. Like, it's the children who are just going to look and see and finding who they are, because a lot of people our age are very conservative, like, especially when the amount of people that I've actually like in the past like month have heard say, oh, there's too much LGBTQ things at school, like it's overwhelming. I'm just like, oh, and you're my age? Like, I just like,
I don't understand.
The homophobia is very like, I didn't realize how rampant homophobia is. And like,
and I feel like
and even within
really
myself
bad.
too, it's real bad. It's actually like ghetto, and I have to clock that multiple times. But that's when it comes, like, activism doesn't just stop when you're online or talking to people. It's also continuously when you're interacting with yourself alone. Like when you're literally in your thoughts. It's telling yourself and like being like, oh shit, wait, even if other people aren't as like physically progressive as you are, doesn't mean that like you shouldn't be. Because no, I don't care. Anybody says the amount of conservatives in like our age group is actually overwhelming.
It's
quite concerning.
But that's
to
why
me.
I feel like with media and, like I was saying earlier, like the red pill ideology, because it's so conservative in all the wrong ways. Because there's nothing bad with being conservative. Let me just put that out there. Not everyone has to be liberal. It's just, in order for things to work, you still have to be progressive in a society that keeps progressing. And that's where we run into problems, and this is where like activism is so important, because keep up with the fucking times. If my father can say that, to keep up with the fucking times, keep up with the fucking times. It's not that hard. Even if you don't agree, let people live their lives. I don't know why people are so upset, especially with homophobia. It literally is sexuality. Why are you so
doesn't have anything to do with you, because you know what they always like to add in, because now like the furries are like kind of infiltrated.
Furry guys, an actual furry. It's legit like a costume.
Like
thing.
It's a costume thing, right? But I'm just like, I hope we know that like, it's not in the LGBTQ.
Yeah,
it's actually not.
It's cosplay.
It's cosplay. So can we stop putting the two?
Furries recognize that being a furry is cosplay.
Like, can we please, like, please? It's
and
not.
listen,
It's not the. And I don't know why they always group it together. But I think they group it together because it's the unknown, and people feel uncomfortable with the unknown. So they're just like, it's weird. I don't like it.
If people are doing some crazy shit at home in furry costumes, that's a kink. I don't know if I would consider that sexuality. It might be a concerning kink. But there's a lot of concerning kinks out there, so I'm not gonna judge.
And like, I'm thinking about in high schools though, like, because I kept on hearing how like at a certain high school, like, people felt like it was like an overwhelming amount of gays, or like not overwhelming amount of gays, but like I guess it was just like too much gay stuff around, and like
a great world,
people and like people were like, I guess like comfortable by that or whatever. Yeah. But I'm just like, I think that I honestly I don't believe that. I personally think it probably wasn't even that bad, but because it low-key triggers you, it low-key triggers you, it's like, oh my god, it's everywhere. Yeah. Even if you think you're not homophobic, and you might believe that you're so not homophobic, you low-key might be. Internalized homophobia is real, guys. Like, little things that like are like piss you off that straight people do, normal things that piss you off that gay people do, that if straight people did it wouldn't piss you off. Like, let's really think about that, you know what I mean? And like, obviously, like, some things, like, I hate PDA, that's just in general for me.
Me too. But like,
y'all being upset about posters being around, or like the pride flag being up, like stuff like that shouldn't trigger you if you think that you live
in a progressive country.
Like, exactly.
Leave the country.
Exactly. You live in a progressive country.
Go be an immigrant somewhere else. We don't want you here. And I say immigrant because white people can be immigrants
too. Like,
By the way. I'm talking about you.
She's talking directly to you.
I'm talking about you.
Directly to you. But also, if we're talking about in schools too, like, I think that people trying to use gays as a way to like terrify, as a way to like scare the children is so strange.
Scare the children with the gays.
It's so strange because I promise you.
Why are we worrying about the gays? Worry about the guns. Different G word. Sorry. Sorry.
That was so funny. I was gonna say, like, I promise you, like, the gays are not over here trying to hurt your children. I can promise you that. I can actually promise you that.
I also have a bone to pick with gay men, though, sometimes.
Oh, whoa! I have a big bone to pick, actually. Because let's clock your
you being gay.
No, let's clock your activism right there, please. Yeah. Because why is it that gay men who are so comfortable talking to especially black women in the way that they talk to black women? Fix your mouth before you come to me talking to me like that. I swear I will slap you silly. Like, it's insane.
No, for real.
It's insane.
Like, you might think we're like, because I'm an ally, but watch yourself.
Please.
Watch yourself. Because your misogyny
is showing
in really intense ways.
Also, when gay men use the word bitch, like, a little bit too...
I don't like a man calling me bitch and you're still a man. Let's be real here. Just because you're gay doesn't mean you're not a man. You're still a man, and you calling me a bitch still has society consequences. Also, when a gay man gets in an argument with, like, a woman, you can see their misogyny come out real bad. I'm fully. It doesn't look good. And then you're reminded, oh shit, gay men are still men. Gay men are still men. It's the worst realization. It's the worst realization ever. It hurts. It hurts. Don't think that my hatred for men stops at you. Just because you're gay doesn't protect you that much. It doesn't. I love you. But... No, yeah. Watch yourself. Watch yourself hard. And also, as a gay man, like, you have the privilege of, like, being able to, like, put your foot in every little level of activism. You know what I mean? Like, people will actually listen to you. People will actually listen to you because of who you are. Yeah. So it's like, maybe use that to your benefit instead of, like, shitting on others. And women, gay women, and... Gay white women. Sorry. No, this is, like, going in a different direction. But yes. But I'm just saying, like, queer women and gay women and women who are straight, we're still at the forefront of your movements and your liberation. Where are you now? Where are the gay men now fighting for women's rights? But this is why I don't fight for I don't speak up for Men's Mental Health Month. Evil, but like real. I don't because you know what? You don't care about your mental health. Who built that system? Who built the system? Who built that system? Who built it? Also, you don't speak up for your own rights, and then you want me to speak up for you so much. Like, I'm sorry, black women need to learn how to self-preserve. Self-preservation is important, especially after this election and this year. Yeah. Black women, like, please, self-preservation. Please don't do anything for these men will literally, like, emotionally abuse y'all, and then at the same time be like, guys, like, please, guys, it's mental health. Men's mental health matters. Y'all are abusers, low-key. Like, what are you talking about? Not just that, the only people I ever see talk about men's mental health is women. It's only ever women. So if you guys have an issue, if men have an issue with talking about, men have an issue with talking to other men about their mental health, not talking to women about their mental health. We both know that's not true. You're having an issue talking to your friends, your male friends about mental health. So you know what? Clock your friends about not giving a shit about you. Yeah. Clock that. Don't come crying to us when we're the ones literally advocating for you guys. Like, the issue is within. The issue is in the house. Yeah, you're advocating for people who don't call themselves feminists. Oh. Because it's like a scary word. You're advocating for men who don't acknowledge where the problem stands, and you're advocating for men who want women to fix their problems. I've been in 3 relationships, and 2 out of those 3 relationships had been me fixing a man's mental health. Why is that my responsibility as your girlfriend to do that? Why am I the one telling you to go to therapy? Why am I the one carrying the burden of fixing you? I don't want to do that. And it's like a prize. It's supposed to be a prize for it. This should be what you want, actually. No, exactly. From what society and everybody's like telling, this is actually what you want. You're supposed to be building this man up. And
I'm not building a man up to be great. I'm so sorry. I'm not. I'm not gonna be your ride or die. Nigga, die then. The fuck?
If you want a proper partnership, that's an entire different conversation, entire different podcast.
Maybe when we're married, we'll see.
But if I'm dating you, and what are the benefits for me? What in those two relationships, what was I getting that was like, this relationship is worth staying for? Absolutely nothing. Because constantly, I was, one, trying to figure out what mood you were in. And second, I was trying to figure out, what can I do to make this man feel better? Because that's just me when I'm in a relationship. I want to uplift my partner. I'm, like, when I'm in a relationship, I am more traditional. Mm-hmm. But it's like, at the same time, there's this level of, like, awareness I obviously have. And when I'm sitting there and I'm like, our relationship fucking sucks because of your health and the way you see yourself and the way that you treat others because you're so insecure and all you do is project.
Because you're so unhappy.
And you want to talk about men's mental health? Absolutely not. I'm so sorry. You treat people like shit because of how you feel inside. And I just can't stand behind you and be like, I care about men's mental health. Mm-hmm. If I were to sit beside a man who's actually emotionally aware with himself and is trying his hardest, and he's vulnerable with his friends and his friends can accept that and don't give him bullshit advice, I can absolutely stand for men's mental health. It's in different context. But I just, the majority of men,
you're just not going to see me, like, advocating in the way that you want me to advocate for it. I'm so sorry.
Maybe I'll
especially
post
when especially when it comes to men. This is for you. This entire system is, especially as a white man, like this is work. This system is for you, nigga. All you have to do is speak, and it will be done. You don't even want to talk about something that's affecting you constantly. And instead, you want to go and either blame other people, like make other people, like literally go and trauma dump on your girlfriend and be like, fix me, or literally not do anything about it, and then afterwards be an issue to everybody in society.
They're always using it as soon as we're talking about like women's rights and like women's health. They're like, what about men's mental health? Shut the fuck up. You know what?
Maybe I don't care.
Shut the fuck up.
Maybe I don't care.
Why do you only care about men's mental health and men's health in general when it comes to women's rights? Shut up.
Shut up.
You're so fucking annoying.
You're annoying.
Anyways.
You're annoying. You're very annoying. But yeah, like your activism 100% has to like include everybody. We know that and we love that. But we have to make sure that our activism includes people who are being like disproportionately affected by the system, like as in black women, queer women, trans women. Yes.
It's so annoying. Stop being performative. Don't advocate for one thing.
I'm so sorry. Like, you guys cannot say like you care about disabled people, and then after the amount of you guys that say you care about disabled people, but you make fun of them. That dance. There's like a dance on TikTok, like that dance, like come on. That is not okay. You guys, like you said, it's performative. You say you care, but you don't put in the actions that tell me that you care. Your behavior, the way you act, like that's another point I put, was like your friends should also like be a representation of what you care about and be a representation of your activism as well. I think that's important. Absolutely. Like the people around you shouldn't just be, oh my fucking God. Okay, wait, sorry. Let me finish my thought. The people around you shouldn't just be randos. This pissed me off, guys. So basically, my friend, okay, dear friend Darnell, love that. Okay, Darnell and Alicia, okay? So they're in the car together, right? And then they post on their story, okay? Alicia was like, oh, I want a man to like throw me or something like that. Okay, whatever. That was posted. Tell me why this strange person that I don't even talk about you, I don't know you, I don't know who you are anymore. The last thing I know is that you decided that it was normal to say kill all Arabs in birthday, in like a birthday type, like a birthday event, basically. That's the last time I know you from. Yeah. So why does this girl then snap back to the story of Darnell posting, oh, Alicia wants to be thrown or whatever? Tell me why this girl snaps back like, I don't think your activist friend Aoife would support that.
Are you ill?
Are you stupid? Like, are you dumb?
We're actually.
Are you dumb? 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 Are you dumb?
Oh, remember also? No, this is Tia. I don't care. I want to keep this in. Because,
I will keep this in.
Because okay, this is a great example. Because when Aoife confronted you, you were like, "You're so right. Like, I need to do better." And then texted Darnell right after, being like, "I don't want to hang out around your activist friends again."
She said, next time you have something, never invite me around your activist friends again because they do too much. Oh,
you're not doing
thank
enough.
you so much. No, when she said that, I said, oh, I'm doing enough, baby girl. I'm doing enough. I'm doing enough. Because that made you so mad. Yeah. I texted her and I was like, don't you ever say some nasty, stupid ass shit like that in front of my friends, especially. Yes. I was like, first of all, Anna was pissed. Melissa was pissed. I was like, well, I'm not doing this with you. I messaged her and I was like, never again. She wants to tell me, oh yeah, I completely understand. And then afterwards, like a loser. Mind you, I had the screenshots. So no matter if she deleted the text message, I still have the screenshot dummy. So it's like, I still have it, and you're still talking about me till this day. And it's the fact that I would support that. I support a woman's sexuality. Screw you. What are you talking about? What are you actually talking about? What are you actually talking about? But that's what I mean. Like, you guys are so also weird when it comes to actual activism. You guys get so offended by it.
Yeah, because
you guys get so offended by it.
People.
It's challenging.
It's challenging people. It's not just about what you post online. That's not even a quarter of it. It's like you said, live your life a very specific way and challenging people. If someone in your friend group said something weird, don't be afraid to be like, hey, why do you think like that? Or where does that come from? It's
hard though, because like for me, like I'm my personality too is very hard for me to tell people when they do something wrong. Yeah. So what's easy for me is like, bro, if you say something weird, you're actually never gonna see me again. Because also it's just like, why did you just say that? No, why did you say that? But I've never been around people who say anything like stupid,
challenging
crazy.
Someone could just be like this happened.
Like Christianity and
like witchcraft.
It's we literally had that conversation. Yes.
Like, it doesn't have to be a confrontation. It can just be challenging. Where does that come from for you?
Challenging your thought. Like, where does that come? Yeah.
Because even
everything is rooted in something. Everything can be rooted in bias, especially your thoughts. And like, it's not critically proven, so it's just a bias. Like,
and as an activist, honestly, you're probably curious people, and that's why you're so motivated. But honestly, for me, learning where someone else is coming from, one, I'm just interested in what you have to say. And second, it's why do you feel so heavily about this topic where I feel the complete different? Like, when it comes to religion and spirituality, I'm so, like, everyone's so entitled to their own like spirituality and their own religion, and to me it's all the same. Like, to me it's like they're all figures of each other. So when it comes to someone being so against, like, Islam, or so against Christianity, or so against being Catholic, I'm like, where does that come from? Because as a religious person, to me it's like, are they not all the same to you? Just different fonts. So when they're so, like, especially when it comes to Islam,
I think people want to be, again, the only true religion, and they want to be the first, and that can
the truth can be multiple things,
but not when it comes to that context. For some people, that's where the problem, and that's where white supremacy comes in. It's white supremacy. It's white supremacy. Like, it literally is just white supremacy.
I just find it very interesting, especially when it comes to religion. It's so interesting to just see.
That definitely has to be, like, a specific.
Yeah, because learning, like, growing up being Catholic and then learning about Islam more recently is just very interesting, because the stories are so similar, and the way that it's written is very similar, and there's so many similarities, and I'm like, why are people fighting over which one is better? Because to me, they're all essence of the same thing. I mean, literally, in multiple books, they just follow each other. It is the same thing.
The Torah is just first.
That's what I mean. It's like, whatever comes first or last, who actually knows? Who actually knows? It's just very interesting. Very, very interesting. And I love learning about religion.
Yeah, but that's what's important about, like, I love that because it's so refreshing. And, like, I think that, like, sometimes people don't understand that activism too is like it's not about already knowing, but it's about your like you're learning constantly. Like even just right now I'm learning from her, and like you're learning constantly every day, and that's why it's important that your spaces also reflect your activism, because then you can continuously learn all the time. Like you're always going to be growing in knowledge. And like also, why would you want to grow in knowledge around people who don't have the same values as you? I think that's strange.
Like activism and religion alone, it's like you should be advocating for people to have freedom to choose what they want to do. Or what religion they want to follow, and that's just in the context of anything. If you're following human rights, it's in the charter to have and choose your religious freedoms. So why are we arguing about this? Why is it a point where I'm Christian, I care about Palestine, but the Muslims like the Muslims though?
No, but it's like also but Israel is the holy land, so
it's like why can't I most likely myself will never see a world where we can just fully coexist together and there will be no competition. But again, it's so deep-rooted that we're never going to see that.
Wait, I just found it interesting. I have this thought in my head how people get so offended when activists are like activists and they really do their all and like they go all out, and I mean like they will quit their job, they will fucking sleep on the street, like and people are like, oh my god, this is too much, this is too much, this is too much, why are they like they're doing too much, they're doing too much. It reminds me of like it and sometimes I find it funny whenever like Christians have that perspective of like activists are doing too much, because it's like, but you as a Christian, like your entire being, everything
Jesus
that you are,
activist.
everything that you
like,
are
what?
is Christian. Like you talk about it constantly. That's your whole being. That's literally
neighbors,
that's literally what but that's literally what an activist is doing. But when an activist does it, it's too much.
Yeah, I agree.
It's too much. But when you do it, it's okay. But you're doing the same level of like teaching or like wanting people to learn, like you're doing the same level of thing, but one is more offensive than the other. I think that's strange, but I think it's literally just because you're triggered. Like when you're triggered by somebody who's pushing a narrative or trying to get a point across and you don't believe in it, it can make you very upset.
Oh, absolutely.
Like especially with the gays, y'all get really mad with the gays. But it gets people very, very upset, and I find it interesting because like the level of trigger that you have is like it doesn't come out of nowhere. It's anti-blackness, and it's you believing that you have the right to feel that way, but you don't, because it's wrong. You can't have the right to feel everything that you feel. I'm so sorry. So some of the things that you feel is actually offensive as hell. Maybe you shouldn't feel like that. Like maybe you shouldn't feel like that.
Truly.
Maybe you shouldn't.
Anyways, maybe this is a good area to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Before we start.
It's like rambling more. But honestly, guys, thank you.
Just check yourself. Make sure your activism is not performative. And just to be clear, activism is not just online. It's the way you talk to people. It's the way you challenge people. It's the way you live your life. It's a lifestyle. So don't be that fake person online posting the one post and calling yourself an activist, especially when it comes to Gaza and Lebanon and the West Bank and Syria and honestly all countries in conflict right now and going through hardship and genocide. Be educated and check your biases and just do research. Yeah, like reminder, genocides have been going on for years and years and years and years and years. They haven't just popped up now. I mean, Black Americans are being killed all the time. So Black Canadians too, Indigenous people are being massacred left and right. So let's remind ourselves that like these things have been happening and this is not something new. Yep. Also, diversity is historically accurate. Period. Diversity is not for you. Yeah, diversity is historically accurate and is not for you, because we tried to erase the fact that diversity is historically accurate. So that's the whole point. Yeah. That's literally the whole point of them trying to fix it right now. Like, I don't understand why people are missing that. And most importantly, stay C-U-N-T-Y. Say C-U-N-T-Y. C-U-N-T-Y. Forever and ever. C-U-N-T-Y. Be cunty. Bye. Forever.
We could just put it in like the middle, because okay, this is just like a random ad that we're putting in the middle because I just want to add this little thought in my head. But like obviously, like we know that Disney is doing this diversity. Like we need diversity. We need to like fix our past and da da da. It's not just because it's not because, I wouldn't say it's because they care. I wouldn't put it past them that they're just doing it for money. I mean, I know they're doing it for money. We know that it's for consumerism, and we know that capitalism comes into play because we see that when Disney focuses on being historically accurate and like focusing on diversity, people are watching their films, they're getting the money that they want. So obviously that has to do with them wanting diversity, but let's not ignore the fact that it's not like beneficial for Black people and people of color. And yeah, I just don't want to ignore the fact that a part of it is like it is consumerism and it is capitalism, and they're just like, let's use Black stories and get people to watch this. But you know, I know that, but at least they're good. But yeah. Period. Y'all let me know what you think.
Leave a comment below
about this specifically and everything else. Period.
Yeah, everything. Bye.
Period.